Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NTD Tonight. I'm David Zhang. Here are some of today's top stories. More sanctions against Russia. The U.S. government says the goal is to isolate and financially weaken Russia. California's governor says crime is down in one Bay Area city, but locals say it's because fewer people are reporting crimes. More on the two narratives. A walk for justice. Friends and family of former General Hospital actor Johnny Wactor, who was fatally shot last month, urged more action from city leaders. First up, the Biden administration announced a few hundred sanctions against Russia. The purpose is to financially weaken them and restrict resources for wars. The Biden administration is announcing over 300 new sanctions aimed at further isolating and financially weakening Russia. The Department of Treasury said the sanctions take aim at financial institutions supporting Russia's war in third countries. The new sanctions would restrict Russia's access to certain U.S. software and information technology services. They target over 300 individuals and entities that help Russia sustain its war effort and evade sanctions. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen highlighted that Russia is relying on critical supplies from third countries accessing foreign technology and using foreign financial institutions. In particular, the measure would take aim at China. The Chinese Communist regime has managed to fill a significant portion of Russia's industrial base since the war began. President Biden headed to Italy today for the G7 summit. The summit, starting tomorrow, is set to cover major challenges, including China and Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Turkish President are joining the summit in southern Italy. While there, Biden is expected to sign a bilateral security pact between the U.S. and Ukraine. The deal is supposed to have the U.S. continue its training of Ukraine's armed forces for 10 years. There will also be cooperation in the production of weapons and military equipment. Military assistance and intelligence sharing will also continue. People familiar with the matter said this deal is expected to be an executive agreement, so it's not necessarily binding for any future presidents. Turning to election security, a Bridgeport city councilman and a Democratic Party official in Connecticut have been charged with illegally handling absentee ballots. Alfredo Castillo and a Democratic Vice Chairwoman Wanda Guerra Padeggi were arrested for their alleged actions in the 2019 mayoral primary. The chief state's attorney emphasized the importance of election integrity. 2 campaign workers were also charged. All 4 face accusations, including tampering with witnesses and misrepresenting voting eligibility. Mayoral candidate John Gomes called the arrests long overdue, highlighting ongoing issues with election fraud. The State Elections Enforcement Commission is still investigating Bridgeport's elections. A private jet carrying 5 men disappeared decades ago on a snowy Vermont night. Now, 53 years later, experts believe they have found the wreckage of the long-lost jet in Lake Champlain. Shortly after departing from the Burlington Airport for Providence, Rhode Island on January 27, 1971, the corporate jet disappeared. The people on board included 2 crew members and 3 employees of a Georgia development company. Last month, underwater searcher Gary Kozak and a team found the wreckage of a jet with the same custom paint scheme near where the plane had disappeared. Before that, at least 17 searches failed to find the lost plane. Although relatives say they feel grateful and relieved that the plane has been found, the discovery also reopens old wounds and raises more questions. California's governor claims crime is down significantly in one city that has become notorious for homicides, burglary, assaults, and more. Others argue that locals have given up on letting law enforcement know, causing an inaccurate count.
Governor Gavin Newsom announced on Wednesday that overall crime in the city of Oakland is down 33% compared to the same time last year. The crimes include burglary, robbery, car theft, larceny, arson, homicide, and assault. In addition, state law enforcement officers have recovered stolen cars, seized guns linked to crimes, and arrested hundreds of suspects since February this year. Newsom deployed 120 California Highway Patrol officers in February in an effort to crack down on crime. Critics of the city's crime point to exponential theft during the pandemic, which they say scared many people away and caused businesses to close down. In an interview with California insider Siamak Karami earlier this year, Chris Moore, a board member for the East Bay Rental Housing Association, explains what happened to businesses when people stopped visiting the city due to fear of being a crime victim.
There's a statistic last year, 6,000 small businesses stopped paying business tax in 2023 in Oakland, California. The city doesn't know what happened. It was almost a surprise to them. They don't know why. Everybody else with common sense knows why. There's this criminal activity all over the streets.
Despite the governor's report for lower numbers, some people commented on X social media saying Oakland residents stopped reporting crimes since the police do not answer, so the numbers are likely to be inaccurate. Sergeant Hui Nguyen, president of the Oakland Police Officers Association, told ABC7 that while recent data shows a small drop in crime, the city still has more work to do, adding there is often an uptick in violent crimes and sideshows during the summer months.
According to local police, multiple stunt driving or sideshows took place around the San Francisco Bay Area, disrupting the city. One car even caught on fire. The chief said that they have already told the two vehicles and are looking for help on their investigation.
Spinning tires, fireworks, and lasers. This was one of 3 sideshows that happened overnight over the weekend in San Francisco. Footage from the Citizen app shows the stunts happening after 2 a.m. The sideshow blocked traffic at the Embarcadero roadway at the city's iconic intersection by the water.
The San Francisco Police Department learned about the meetup location and was standing by. Unfortunately, when confronted by the SFPD, the group splintered into several groups, which then proceeded to conduct dangerous stunt driving at various locations around the city. At one point, one of the vehicles involved in the melee caught fire on the Embarcadero.
The chief said the initial gathering included around 200 vehicles. The mayor echoed the chief's message, saying it's illegal and dangerous.
We will be working to hold people accountable and impound vehicles in the coming days and weeks. For members of the public, please call 911 when you witness one of these events occur, and please share any pictures or videos with police, which we will use in our investigations.
Another sideshow reportedly happened in Oakland. As of Tuesday, the chief said they've towed 2 vehicles already, but have made no arrests yet, as their initial response is to break up the sideshows. Anyone with information is asked to contact the police or tip line.
Nearly 3 weeks after General Hospital actor Johnny Wactor was shot and killed in downtown Los Angeles, his family is urging city leaders to take more action. NTD's Christina Corona has more on the story.
Wactor's family held a news conference Wednesday morning as part of the Justice for Johnny Wactor March. Friends, family, and community leaders are calling on city leaders, including Mayor Karen Bass, to fully support and provide resources to the Los Angeles Police Department in its homicide investigation.
We're here today to honor Johnny's memory and to call for justice in the wake of this senseless tragedy. His life was cruelly taken from us in an act of unnecessary violence. He was simply walking to his car and ending his bartending shift when he encountered 3 individuals attempting to steal his catalytic converter.
The 37-year-old was fatally shot last month after confronting the individuals. The suspects fled in a vehicle, and Wactor died shortly after at a local hospital.
But this crime also sends a chilling message. We do not know who else these individuals could have harmed or who they may harm in the future if they're not brought to justice. Taking someone's life for a piece of metal.
Johnny's brother, Grant Wactor, flew to Los Angeles from South Carolina to speak.
Back home was we're all hurting, obviously. Thank you all for being here and helping us to keep this out there so we can continue to press this issue. But I was like, the main thing is just it was senseless act of violence. It was something that none of us expected. He was 37 years old, maybe 38 August. Yeah, it hurts.
They are also pushing city leaders to issue a minimum $25,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of the individuals responsible for Wactor's death. Following the news conference, family members and friends marched to Los Angeles City Hall to call for justice.
What do we want? We want safe streets. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now!
Anyone with information on his case is urged to call the LAPD's Central Station. Christina Corona, NTD News.
We'll take a short break now, everybody, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come back. Staying hydrated is more than just drinking water. The herbalist shares the best fruits and herbs to add for a healthy electrolyte boost. The largest public library system in California says there is a boost in their summer program signups. NTD flips through the pages. Joey Chestnut banned from a hot dog eating contest, and basketball legend Jerry West passed away at age 86. Those stories and more coming up on NTD Tonight. Welcome back to NTD Tonight. I'm your host, David Zhang. With the summer months ahead, temperatures are starting to climb, making it important to stay hydrated. The herbalist shares a simple way to infuse your water to make it more hydrating. NTD's Helen Billings has more on the story.
NTD talked to herbalist Cami McBride, who said, it's easy to whip up your own electrolyte drink to replenish your body. She said electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and chloride conduct electricity when dissolved, and because our bodies use electrical signals to function, we need electrolytes for our nerves, muscles, heart, and brain to work properly.
It's not just about drinking water, it's about getting electrolytes, and your fresh herbs and your fresh fruit are full of electrolytes to help your body actually use the water, use the liquid.
McBride said she usually makes a pitcher of herbal electrolyte water first thing in the morning so that it's there all day.
It just consists of putting a few leaves of fresh herbs and whatever seasonal fruit you have. It's super simple, and it's also just nice to have, something refreshing, like when you come home that's beautiful and colorful.
She said mint and cucumber are cooling and make a great summer herb water.
So if you're, red-faced and irritated, have a headache, feel overheated in your head, like you get hot-headed, the mint and especially cucumber is very hydrating. It's full of electrolytes, and it helps to cool the body.
McBride mentioned that setting up a hydration station with a pitcher of herbed water can help your family stay hydrated in between meals.
Especially if you have family members that are just starting out, if you use colorful fruits, people are a little bit more attracted.
Another recipe of hers starts with adding some fennel leaf to the water, giving it a licorice flavor.
And then you put a few orange slices and a few strawberry slices, and then they come into the kitchen, and this is what's waiting for them.
Or if you're on the go, you can add a pinch of pink salt to your water bottle or grab some coconut water without additives to stay hydrated. I personally like to add ginger or rose petals to my water. In California, Helen Billings, NTD News.
The public library system in the nation's 13th largest city is seeing a spike in readership interest. San Jose Public Library spans 25 locations in Silicon Valley. NTD's David Lamb reports.
Shh, I'm at the King Library in San Jose, so I have to keep my voice low. But the big news is their summer readership interest is high.
Registration for San Jose Public Library's Summer Learning Program, located in Silicon Valley, and the number of book giveaways is increasing drastically, according to the library system.
These events they all have an educational component, and they're fun. So some of them could be like a petting zoo or magic bubbles, arts and crafts, an author event.
Nancy Macias with the library said more than 6,000 people of all ages registered to its program. Readers recorded over 200,000 reading minutes tracked in the first 12 days. But the plot thickens. The library's goal is to reach 4 million minutes read this summer and to pass last year's 10,000 signups, with incentives and prizes for reaching reading goals. There's a 47% increase in signups compared to last year. The program lasts from June 1st to end of July. She said the summer programs would help prevent kids from academically sliding down.
It was created to help prevent the summer slide, which tends to happen when children are on summer break and not really in a school setting where they're reading and keeping up with academics.
Dee Han, mother of a 2- and 4-year-old, says she takes her kids to the library 2 to 3 times a week.
I think it really makes them speak better. I come from a family where English wasn't a primary language, so I feel like they're learning to express themselves a lot more through words, and that's what I couldn't do when I was growing up.
Macias says signups for adults went up nearly 80% than last year.
For me, I like to read philosophy books. So one of my favorite books is Art of War. And then for them, it's obviously dinosaurs, and him it's princess books.
During the summer, it's enticing to go to the water parks or the beaches, but the library staffs hope that people could pick up a book as well and to just increase their lifelong learning and to enjoy knowledge. Reporting in San Jose, California, David Lamb, NTD News.
In Utah, organizers of the 2034 Winter Olympics have announced a total estimate for the cost of the Games this year. It should add up to about $4 billion.
Organizers for the proposed 2034 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City released their first budget estimate Monday. They project the total cost to be just under $4 billion, with $2.84 billion of that for operational costs. The committee said even though there will be 40% more events than the last time Salt Lake City hosted the Olympics, the number for operational costs for 2034 is 1% lower than that for 2002 when adjusted for inflation. Salt Lake City has been focused on using many of the venues that were in play for 2002. It says no new venue construction is planned for 2034, as it will use facilities that have been kept in use and upgraded since 2002. Olympics are often known for coming in over the budget, with spending being difficult to track given the massive size of the event. The Salt Lake organizers released projected revenue figures that estimate they will break even with the help of a target of $1.8 billion in domestic sponsorship.
And now in sports, Joey Chestnut's hot dog contest ban and the passing of basketball legend Jerry West. NTD's Carlos Reyes has more on these stories.
Joey Chestnut, the undisputed king of competitive eating, will not be defending his title at this year's Nathan's Famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Chestnut, who has reigned supreme 16 times since 2007, including every year since 2016, has been banned from the iconic event due to his endorsement of vegan hot dogs. The controversy erupted when Major League Eating, MLE, announced that Chestnut would be excluded from the 2024 contest because of his new partnership with Impossible Foods, a brand known for its plant-based meat alternatives. Chestnut, who learned about the ban along with the rest of the world, expressed his frustration and disappointment on social media. "I was gutted to learn from the media that after 19 years, I'm banned from the Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest," he shared on X. Chestnut emphasized his love for the event and his fans, stating that he had been training hard to defend his title. MLE clarified that their decision was based on long-standing rules preventing competitors from endorsing rival brands. Despite efforts to accommodate Chestnut, including allowing him to compete in another unbranded contest, the partnership with Impossible Foods was deemed a conflict too great to overlook. Jerry West, a towering figure in basketball history, passed away Wednesday morning at the age of 86, as announced by the Los Angeles Clippers. West's illustrious career both on and off the court spanned decades, earning him the nickname Mr. Clutch for his late-game heroics and establishing him as one of the most influential figures in the sport. West's accolades are vast. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame 3 times, As a player in 1980, as part of the gold medal winning 1960 U.S. Olympic team in 2010, and he will be honored posthumously later this year as a contributor, a first in Hall of Fame history. His contributions as an executive are legendary, having built 8 championship teams, notably with the Los Angeles Lakers, where he was instrumental in assembling the Showtime dynasty and later teams featuring superstars like Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. West's silhouette is widely believed to be the basis of the NBA logo, a fitting tribute to his enduring impact on the game. His playing career was equally storied. He was a 12-time All-NBA selection, a 14-time All-Star, and the NBA Finals MVP in 1969, the only time the award has gone to a player on the losing team. His achievements as a player also include being part of the 1972 Lakers team that won the championship and being named to the NBA 75th anniversary team. Beyond his on-court exploits, West was a revered figure in the front offices of the Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, and the Clippers, where he served as a consultant for the past 7 years. His influence bridged generations, mentoring and managing some of the greatest players in NBA history, from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Stephen Curry. The sports world mourned his passing with tributes pouring in from across the globe. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver hailed him as one of the greatest executives in sports history, and figures like LeBron James and Michael Jordan expressed their deep admiration and sorrow. Carlos Reyes, NTD News.
Stay tuned for China in Focus with Tiffany Meyer coming up next. Google's AI chatbot returning a mirror image of Chinese propaganda in some Chinese language answers. We asked Gemini some questions about topics Beijing considers sensitive. More on what the bot told us. More on China in Focus with Tiffany Meyer at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like you to join us again on NTD Tonight every weekday at 9 p.m. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.